Righty-o, okie dokie. So here we are, live and well. How are you doing this morning, Lauren?
Awesome, thank you.
Good. I'm so pleased to have you here. So excited to have your enthusiasm, because that's what you're all about, is your enthusiasm. I'm so pleased.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Have you had a good week?
Yes, yeah, sure. Busy, always.
Yeah?
Always what's going on. Yeah, but it has been, it's been exciting.
Fantastic. And so before we get going with this, if anybody is watching the live or over on Facebook, please let me know if you can hear us and see us okay, because we're not actually in Facebook. We are in the StreamYard app, and so we can't actually see. And it would be great if you could just, StreamYard puts a link there that gives Facebook permission to show your name. So if you do have a question for Lauren and you, or you have a comment, and it helps us to see who we're actually talking to, because otherwise you just come up as an anonymous, lurking somebody. So we would prefer to know who. Yeah, exactly.
You try to do that.
I know. Yeah, Lauren was talking and I couldn't see. I was like, okay, somebody says this, somebody says this. So yeah, please do click the link. It should be, I think it's just below or just above this video in Facebook, so that you can add your name. Righty-o. So shall we kick off this caffeinated Q&A for the week?
Sure.
Cool. Have you got your coffee with you, Lauren?
I have got my coffee. Yep.
Okay, good. I've got mine in my flask because I'm in the office. So if I were at home, it would be a different story. But I'm in the office, so I like to bring my coffee in a flask, and that way it doesn't get cold. But the way that this chat is going to work is that the duration is however long it takes us to drink our coffee. So either that, or we get through the 25 questions, whichever comes first. So
I'll have to speak fast.
Or if we get through our coffee and we only get through 3 questions, that's also cool. So it just depends, we wait and see how it goes. So we keep it fluid, we keep it on the go, we keep it exciting. And the questions that I'm going to be asking you are preloaded, but we don't actually know which ones we're going to get you to answer. I've got them here on my phone. I have the wheel, and I was trying to get the tech. Every time I do this on a Friday, I think to myself, oh, I must make sure the tech, and then I leave it so late that I don't get there. But we've got the wheel, and we're going to be going through the questions and seeing what you get to answer. So before we go to these questions, can you give a brief intro, who you are, what you do?
Okay, so I'm a mom. I have 3 niche websites. The main one is called Inspiring Mompreneurs, where I feature mom entrepreneurs, mom inventors, all sorts of incredible women who have either written books or been on stages or just done amazing things in their lives. So that's part of what I do. There's always new things.
Okay.
I will talk about it, but I mean, this year my focus has been on building passive income streams into my business.
Ooh, a topic I think a lot of people would be very interested in. So let's hope that there's a question that encourages you and lines up beautifully to let you delve into that. If not, we'll have to set up another conversation another time. But shall we go into the first question? In fact, let me just pour my coffee, because otherwise I'm going to get very thirsty. So give me a second. It's been one of those mornings where I definitely need the coffee. Are you a caffeinated or a decaffeinated coffee girl?
Oh my word! What is the point of decaffeinated? I
know, right? Yep. And milk and sugar, or how do you have your coffee?
Oh, okay. So we'll probably get into that, but at the moment I have it with oat milk, and I'm absolutely loving that. Yeah,
nice.
I do still take a spoon of sugar.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear about the oat coffee. I mean, the oat milk. I'm a soya girl, so I like the soya. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, doke. So let's go into question number 1. So I'm going to spin the wheel. Can you see it there?
Yep.
And
there we go. Love them.
And then I think, well, they're not very. I should have really done them for this Okay, what have we got? Cringe. Oh, that's a good one to start on. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so your cringe question. What do you cringe about? What still makes you cringe when you think about it?
Sure, the things that make me cringe are usually where I've made faux pas in my life, you know, things that I've said that have just like come out and like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that, which is kind of why I've been nervous of this interview, because you ask quite tricky questions.
You've been doing your research. You've been watching.
Yes, I've been watching other people's interviews because I want to see, well, obviously I want to meet them and hear what they're all about, but also because I wanted to know what you were going to ask. And it didn't help me at all. I never actually got to writing it all down and thinking, oh, how am I going to answer that question? You know, life moves on. Like, I just don't have time. So I'm going to do them all off the cuff. And yeah, I cringe when I think about stuff I've said that I shouldn't have said.
Okay. Do you have an example?
I have one about I'm going to share it. It's so embarrassing.
Oh, come on, this is why we do what we do. I love that you've been given this question first off.
Okay, I had this beautiful woman that I had mentored and trained. I was head of network marketing for a company up in Joburg, and I had this beautiful team and this amazing young woman that I trained. She'd like come out of school, and you know, I'd really like done so much with her and so much amazing stuff that happened over the years of working with her. And she just became just this, she blossomed and did so well, and she was going all around the world training. Anyway, then she bought herself a car, which was amazing in itself. She learned how to drive and whatever. And then I was driving behind her once to a meeting, and she drove so badly. So badly. She was driving so slow. And I shouldn't have said anything when I got there, but we were late for the meeting because I was behind. And so I did. And I to this day, I regret. To this day, I regret saying, you know, like, what's up with your driving? In front of people, and like I should not have embarrassed her. And I just hope that she doesn't remember it, because like I do, like I feel these things very deeply because I love this girl so much. Like, why was I nasty to her, you know? So those are the kind of things that keep me awake at night when I
Well, it's understandable. You were in a hurry. You were in a rush. You get a bit frantic.
Yeah, but still, you know, you don't want to ruin a friendship over something so stupid, you know. And like, we lost touch with that, which is very sad.
Okay. Well, forgive yourself, and then why not pick up the phone and call her later?
I wish I could, but I don't have her number.
Find her on social media and tell her that you were retelling the story and you just wanted to have it out, and yeah, do it. I challenge you. Please let me know when you've done it. Okay.
Okay. I will try. I'll do my best.
And then you can let it go. Let it go.
I know.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Okay, Doug. So now, like, the hard one is out the way. So all the rest are going to be easy from here. Okay. Next one.
Ooh, completed.
Completed. Right. Okay. So completed asks, what's the thing you're most proud of completing?
Wow. What's the thing I'm most proud? Probably giving birth naturally. Because it was really hard. Okay. I went into giving birth with like, you know, I'm not going to have any painkillers. I'm not going to have an epidural. I'm doing it all completely naturally. Please, no medication. I had like, you know, I had so many things on my birth plan that are all about doing this as natural as possible, that my original gynae actually said, well, I'm not going to work with you. Because she said, if you want to give birth without this one thing, it was pitocin or syntocinon or whatever like that I'm supposed to take. Anyway, as it so happened, I landed up not having any of the painkillers or anything, but I landed up having a birth that was induced, which means they like pumped me with syntocinon to induce me. And so that one drug I definitely did have in my system. But yeah, I did avoid the painkillers. So it was hell. Like they say that giving birth, okay, this is horrible for anybody who's pregnant right now. Sorry. But like they say it takes you really close to death. You know, like somehow like you know, it's really hard. It is not an easy experience. And when you have when you're induced, it's worse. Please don't, if you can avoid being induced, anybody just avoid it, because it's hell. There's no like time to even breathe between the contractions. They just come on top of each other and it's mad.
Damn.
That was amazing.
Okay, I'll take my hat off to you for that one. And I'm never having children, so cool. No, that was a done deal before this conversation. Don't worry.
Okay, thank God I didn't.
Yeah, no.
The thing I'm most proud of completing. Remember, I'm like, once it's over, you feel amazing. Well,
no, of course, I can imagine. No, absolutely. It must be, one of those obviously, it is one of the most life-changing experiences you could ever have. So, hats off to you. Hats off to you. I will live vicariously through your experience. Okay, yeah, that is a well-earned completion badge there. Okay, let's go. Question number 3. Oh, it goes different directions. What is it? Comfort zone. Wow. Okay. You're getting the good ones today.
You look gorgeous. Wow, you just did something.
I took my hair down. Thank you.
Wow.
Comfort zone. Here we go. What's the most recent comfort zone you stretched, and what was the outcome?
Wow. Okay, that one I could definitely speak to, because the comfort zone I'm stretching right now is 3 weeks ago, I made the decision to switch to a whole food plant-based diet. And it has been an amazing process. Yeah, it's fantastic. I feel amazing on it. So, you know, I'm 3 weeks down the track now, so I'm already feeling really, really good. And I absolutely know this is my new lifestyle, and I'm doing that. And that has been really nice. So the outcome is, I think there's going to be a huge spillover in terms of outcome. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to do the talks. I want to get the word out there because I just believe in it so much. So I've become like this advocate, you know, but I don't call myself vegan because there is like all these different connotations with vegan versus whole food plant-based. So I'm going to just say I am whole food plant-based, and I'm loving it.
Okay, so you're off dairy completely.
So I am vegan. I mean, in terms of I'm off dairy, meat, fish, eggs, everything. Yes.
Okay.
But the difference is, I guess, that I'm also eating extremely healthily. So I'm eating as much. I've hardly got any. I haven't gone out and bought tofu or any of those products or anything. So not processed. Okay. Nothing processed as possible. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. What spurred that on? Why the change?
Well, the interesting thing was a friend of mine phoned me. It wasn't because of anything that was going wrong in myself, but just something that I've been wanting to do for many, many years, and then just had stupid excuses about. And a friend of mine phoned me who had debilitating rheumatoid arthritis, my friend Mariana, and she just said that it's reversed it for the most part. And it can reverse all kinds of conditions. I don't have any of those conditions, but it also can prevent many things. And I've lost a couple of friends to breast cancer. And breast cancer is definitely one of them. Stopping dairy is exceptionally important. It's one of the first steps if you're going to prevent any of those kind of cancers. So I'm doing it as a preventative, and she just convinced me, and then I just immersed myself in YouTube videos and information.
Well, when you start creating your content, I will be your #1 fan. I completely agree. I'm on board with it. I've been vegan for 3 years. 12 years of vegetarianism, and and it's a win-win-win. It's a win for you, win for the animals, and win for the planet. So it is a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. And it's like, for me, it's also about unraveling conditioning that we've been told that there's only one source of protein, there's only one source of all the goodness that we need. Bullshit. Sorry, bullshit. It's bullshit. So awesome. Yeah, I will be your #1 fan. Support all your content. You go out and you make that happen. Make those waves. Yay. That excites me. Awesome. Okie dokie. Which number are we on? We've done 3 so far. So let's look what the next one is. I'm just seeing my lighting. My camera is not dealing with my black top. I don't think it likes my black top.
Character.
Okie dokie. So character asks, if you were a superhero or a cartoon character, what would your costume look like and what would your name be?
Superman?
Nice.
I've seen that little cartoon so many times of the little cape.
Yeah.
He's Superman. My son likes to think I am. He often says I'm just, the most. It's just one of those amazing things when you have a young boy and they're just always telling you the most amazing mom on the planet. I love it. I hope he never grows out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah, long may that last.
Yeah.
So you're old and grey, and he's getting grey himself.
I keep needing to record it when he says these things, because when he's a teenager and he's shouting like abuse at me, I want to hear it again. You're the most amazing.
Exactly. Be reminded. I'm sure most moms can, relate to that somewhere along the line. Okay, awesome. So Supermom, nice name. What did you say your outfitters would look like?
Oh, so it would just be the cape, with like a.
Okay.
Yeah, Superman. I don't know. I'm not very creatively artistic. Okay. So
take that back. You are. Take that back.
I just said that way. I am creative and artistic, but not. My mom could design something.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Your Supermom. Supermom is Supermom.
My Supermom.
Okie dokie. Next question. Oh,
what we got?
Career path. Ooh, this should be a good one. Yeah. So your career path question, in the time it takes to boil the kettle, tell us about your career path that got you here.
Okay. Started out as a massage therapist, moved into nutritional supplements, became a network marketer, and then became head of network marketing for a company, moved into sales, built a couple of websites. Now I'm a digital entrepreneur, done a lot of public speaking, done a lot of motivational speaking, and that's pretty much it.
Wow, that is succinct. Yes, it's succinct. And over what period? What period of time is that? Are we talking?
I'm 47. So, I forgot the part that I started out by owning a little gym, a Churchill gym, and I was a copywriter in a below-the-line advertising agency before I started my massage practice. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. My goodness. That is a diverse background.
So, it's, when you've had 27 to 30 years. What? How long is it? How old am I? I'm 40.
47, you said.
47. So if I was 17 when I started, is that 30 years? Yes.
Yeah, 30 years.
I was 17 when I left school and started out as a copywriter. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, my goodness. So many twists and turns.
Time.
Sheesh.
And it's been a higgledy-piggledy path. I've learned so much along the way. It's been amazing. So
yeah, I'm sure. and the dots, seeing how all the dots connect to get you to where you are now, and the skill set that you get from that.
Exactly. I mean, the freelance writing, editing, proofreading that I got as a copywriter has been so helpful. Later on, I was able to do some freelance writing for magazines, and that moved me into the blogging. So there's been certain mainstays in my life that have stayed with me. The interesting thing was how surprised I am that I didn't start out with a health website, since health was my big driving force for so many years. But I think I am going to move into that next phase of my business now.
It sounds like it. Yeah. It sounds like it. Well, and that's the thing, like converging paths, you might go off. And I think that's the lesson here for anybody who's watching this is like, it might feel like you're directionless, or you're going off in a direction that's completely unrelated to where you maybe want to be, but you never know when that little detour brings you back. So valuable lessons there. Okay. I did not know that about you. I did not know that you were a massage therapy. And
I did for 10 years. And I did so many courses. I mean, aromatherapy, reflexology, shiatsu, polarity. I was a Reiki master. I did quantum touch. I do EFT, emotional freedom technique as well. What I'm most interested in is the holistic side, sort of mind, body, spirit, putting it all together. And, when I really do grow up one day, I will grow into that. Like if when I do write the book is going to be about you finding, that not balance. I don't know about balance, but finding, your happiness within all of
the harmony.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Sure, I can see you doing that, and I can see now that you've described it, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes total sense. It makes total sense what you would do there. Awesome. You've got that energy about you.
Thank you.
Okay, next one. It is quadricennial. I know, right? Quadricennial.
No idea what that is.
Okay, so quadricennial refers to being of age that is at least 4 decades. So does being or becoming over 40 impact the way you perceive yourself online? And if so, how? And then what are your thoughts on women over 40 and their ability to impact the world?
Wow.
So has age ever been a factor?
I think that every person has the opportunity to impact the world, no matter what age they are, whether they are over 80 or whether they are 8. And you can see it. There is a world now that millennials are doing amazing things online. And, I think you have you tackle knowledge very differently at each different decade. If I look at I can look at my life almost compartmentalized into decades. Where the 20s were I had my own business, and then the 30s I moved into corporate, and that's when I probably made the most money in my life, and then I moved back into my own business. And so there's been all these different, I've evolved certainly as a person. And yet if I look back at my 20s, I probably also had I know that I also had a lot to give when I was younger too. But there are things that you do in your youth that you wouldn't do when you're older. Like you do tend to have a better control of your emotional being. So I think that if there's one great thing, there is that maturity and I'm talking very generally here, but I think you do mature in your 40s and you do feel more comfortable with yourself and the world. And you have figured out a lot of stuff by then. Whereas when you're in your 20s, you're figuring it out. And while you're figuring it out, you can be a very good teacher as well. To the In terms of making an impact on the world, I think it can be absolutely any age, and you're never too young or too old to do it. And everybody has a different time when they blossom and they really come into their own. But I do think we reinvent ourselves every 7 to 10 years as women. I don't know if it's always the case so much with men, but definitely with women, we like to try new things, and we are gatherers. And also if you are a mom at some stage of the journey, that also changes your path quite a lot, because it's a different set of friends and a different, the way your day runs is very different as a mother as well. So yeah, any age is amazing, though. I think we can all make an impact, and I don't really see age as a number at all. I literally feel like I'm still in my 20s, and my mom, who's in her 70s, feels the same way.
Yeah, my goodness. And
different, really.
Say that again.
You don't really feel different as the years roll on. You're still you.
I think it's actually, well, my sense of it is, well, you're even more you. You're even more you, because there's like a rooting or a grounding or a solidifying of a defining, a defining of your identity. But I love what you said about, everybody blossoms at a different time. I think that is beautiful. That's a beautiful way of looking at it, and it's a beautiful reminder for so many people that it's, your time to blossom might not be now. It might be in 5-10 years ago. 5 or 10 years time. And so don't, be comparing and beating yourself up, Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. That's a lovely answer. I like that. Quadridecennial. See, now you've learned a new word.
Yes.
Never too old to learn. See? Yeah. Okay, next question. Oh,
you got
question. Okay, so this is you asking a question outwardly. So if somebody's watching the recording of this video, what would you ask? What question would you ask them to consider? Or do you have a question that you'd like to ask me? Either. So it's you asking a question. So I've got a coffee break. So while you think.
Well, I definitely have a question I'd like to ask you now that you mentioned it earlier. What brought on the decision that you are never going to have children? I'm interested to find out why.
Okay, good question.
If it's not too personal.
No, it's not. And even if it was, I would say, because that's what I expect. And so my decision, it wasn't like it was a process of coming to a sense of clarity, really. And wow, it makes so much sense to me now, given the chapter that I'm in, the season that I'm in right now. But it was really a sense of recognizing that I was coming up against the what is expected of me narrative, that it was expected that I do well at school, then I go to university, then I get married, and then I have children, and that. And so, and that didn't gel well with me. This expectation, I was like, but what if I didn't want to? And I had gotten to the point of, I did the do well at school, I did the university, and then it got to the point where my boyfriend at the time, long-term boyfriend at the time, we had lived overseas together, and we had come back together. And we had bought a house together, and I was like, hang on, where are we going? Like, in fact, for my entire 20s, I had just gone with the flow, whatever essentially he wanted to do, whatever, my friends were doing. I was like, okay, you're doing that, cool, I'll go along. Oh, you're doing that, okay, cool, I'll go along. And so my entire 20s was pretty much dictated by whoever I was spending the most time with. And then it got to the point I was like, hang on, but kids is a big thing. Like, that's huge. That is life-alteringly huge, and it is forever. And I became acutely aware of this niggle that there was something resisting, something was not wanting to go down that path, because it wasn't the trigger, the catalyst was that, is this my decision? Or is it what is expected of me? But then I took a step further, where I started to see examples of women who had chosen not to have children. And that was like strange to me. I was like, what do you mean you chose not to have children? You can do that? You can actually choose not to have children? You're allowed to do that? So I saw a few examples of those, and that stuck. And then I started to become more aware of, you know, like the planet and the environment and, you know, animal, you know, well-being and all of that kind of thing. And I for me, it became so apparent that the problem with the world is that there's too many people and not enough resources. And I realized, you know what, if you know, you think that you as an individual cannot have much impact because you're just one person. But you making one very intentional decision, you have no idea how far the ripple effect will go. And so turning vegetarian, turning vegan, yes, I'm just one little person, and that's not going to save the animals. I get it. But if each one of us did our part, if each one of us recycled, if each one of us did our bit individually, even though it feels like we're having zero impact, collectively, we have a huge impact. And then, so then that became another driving force. And so, and then, oh my goodness, there's like a whole bunch of things. And then I realized I had a dog who was my life, and I spoiled her rotten. And I thought, gosh, if I can spoil a dog and turn her into a little antisocial creature who I loved in spite of all her faults, what would I do? And so I was like, that's a lot of responsibility to, you know. So yeah, I overanalyzed it, is what it comes down to. Overanalyzed and determined that maybe in this lifetime it's not on my path. So I chose not to.
And what if it happened like a clipsy, you know? What if it just happened?
Then I would accept. Yeah, I would accept that that's my path. I would accept that. Well, that it has to be. But I'm very careful about it, and it's not my intention at all. And actually saying this now, I don't know if I've ever gone into so much detail, you know, like publicly sharing this, because I remember years ago, you know, it would come up often, especially soon after my husband and I got married, and, you know, because then the questions start coming. So when you're having kids, and then I was like, well, yeah, no, I don't know. And then the whole like, oh, well, it'll be different when it's your own, you know, all the things. And I found myself in awkward conversations where I felt awkward because I felt like I couldn't explain that I've chosen not to have children, lest I be judged. And there is no judgment. Like, everybody's got their own path to follow, right? And so the same is true for somebody who chooses not to have children. But I left it in awkward situations. I've got so many vivid memories of awkward conversations where, and it was invariably women who asked me about motherhood, and they kind of left without clarity, but assuming that I had a medical problem, assuming that I couldn't have children.
That it wasn't a choice. Yeah.
And I didn't clarify, and I didn't correct their assumptions. And, you know, and even my own family has kind of like raised an eyebrow. My extended family, not my parents, I told them straight out, look, sorry, you're the only grandkids you're getting is from my brother. So yeah, take that pressure off right there. And but my extended family, they've risen eyebrows because I'm essentially the only person who's not had children, because it doesn't fit the mold. And I'm not a mold fitter, I've realized. In the work that I do now, it has been defining, and it's so clear to me now why I felt called to not fit that mold, because it's the journey I have to walk. So yeah, a very long-winded, sorry answer about that.
It's great. Who knew that that's how this was going to go?
Yeah, who knew? Maybe somebody needed to have some permission about making a decision for themselves. You know, for themselves, and just doing that work. But yeah, it's been quite a big theme actually in my life.
Making polarizing decisions is quite tricky. I found that to be a tricky one to navigate. I don't like to polarize, you know.
Yeah. So I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah,
I'm a pleaser, you know.
Exactly. So when I was like breastfeeding, and I decided, you know, I would do it for, you know, until he was ready to wean naturally, it was like, I found that it got in the way of some of my relationships. I found like some of my friends felt that I was looking at them askance because they weren't also doing that. And I wasn't. But but it makes it uncomfortable for them. So I don't like polarizing. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. So now moving into the whole food plant-based is a similar vibe for me. I want to advocate for it, but I also don't want to make people feel bad for their choices. Everyone gets to make their own choices.
Yeah, and so therefore you are allowed to make your choice, even though it goes against what popular culture has dictated.
Exactly.
So just as much as you don't want to make other people
permission, but I don't want to force my opinions on anybody else.
No, of course. But you also shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't have to hide. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I want to inspire them to make these choices.
There we go.
Rather than, guilting them into it.
For sure. I completely, and that's exactly it. And so it's no judgment like I'm better than you because I've made this decision for myself. It's just that I have made this decision for myself. I'm not going to just follow the crowd.
Yeah.
And there's intentionality behind it, and it's a very personal decision, and it needs to be made, and we're allowed to make it, and so bloody make it, and then be an example of whatever the decision, the topic of the decision is. Be the example of somebody who has exercised their right to make that decision, but as long as it was a decision, because my problem comes in when somebody they've done something, or they're doing something, but they've just fallen into it by accident, or because it's what they've seen everybody else doing and they haven't consciously thought it through for themselves. That's for me where the problem is. So regardless of the topic at hand, has it been a conscious move? Has it been a conscious decision in that direction? And and my decision broke relationships and but it was part of the journey. So I don't begrudge that at all. It had to happen. And I'm happy that I made that decision, because had I continued with my people-pleasing tendencies, I might be a very unhappy mother right now,
You wouldn't have happiness. Yeah. So you've chosen happiness, and you've chosen your path to happiness.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. That was a good question. Damn. Okay. All right. Let's get on to the next one then. Quest. Oh, this is a good one. Quest. What's your big vision? Why do you do what you do, and why is it so important? So while you think of that, sorry, I hear somebody at the door.
Oh, okay, go.
And I'm here alone, so I just got to check quickly. 1 second.
Okay.
A little bit of extra time to. Okay, so interview etiquette. Interview etiquette number 101. Like, don't leave your guest hanging online. But sorry, I'm at my husband's office, and so a patient had to get something. Sorry. Okay, so what's your big vision? You've had lots of time to think about it.
Okay, so whenever I hear this, I think that anything I'm going to say is going to sound corny because I really, for as long as I've wanted, as I can remember, I've just wanted to fill the world with love. I mean, there's that, that song that plays on the radio in the 70s when I was young, it was about filling the world with love. And that's really what I want. I want to see people feeling at peace, and I suppose the way I do it, and why it's important to me. I love to see people who are in a place where they're not happy with their life find a way to be happy. So, for example, if I'm talking about entrepreneurship, I can't stand seeing people in a job where they are unhappy. I hear people saying things like, I'm in a soul-sucking job, and I just want to no. Please. You can't live a life of soul-sucking. That is not a great way to live,
Yeah.
So the entrepreneurship thing is I want to see people passionate about what they do, and really living a full life of passion. And when it comes to health and wellness, it's the same thing. I mean, you can't live a full life if you're in pain constantly, or if you have, something, if your health becomes really bad, life is miserable, and it's really hard to get it right. So there's certain things that if you can have those basics in place, you can have a much better life. And I guess that is the vision I want to teach. Like, it's not so hard. It's actually easy stuff. And we overcomplicate it. But so it's about simplifying to help people see that they can actually live a really, really wonderful life. I mean, I don't want to say the life of your dreams because it does sound corny, but really we can choose a better life.
Yes.
And leave a legacy and all those wonderful things.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. I do. I love that. And like you say, I mean, so I'm sat here in my husband's practice, and although he's been in medicine for as long as I've known him, I have been quite divorced from it for the last 10 years. And now that we've moved, I'm helping him in his practice just from an administrative point of view. And I am reminded of, you know what? Oh, if you don't have your health, everything is impacted. Everything is impacted. And it's got to be your top priority. It really does. And because then all the happiness and everything else, if you don't have your health, how can you? So it's so important.
Exactly. I mean, I actually see the potential to actually save people's lives now. I mean, by just teaching them simple, basic rules. I mean, imagine if somebody can walk up to you after a talk and actually say, what you said saved my life. That is incredible, because because you can be going down the completely wrong path with your health so easily.
Big impact.
But then Rachel has been a GP or what?
He's a surgeon. He's a surgeon. At the front end of this pandemic, and my mask, so I walk in here with my mask on, and it's real. It's real. It's not a side that I really talk about much or share, but it's a very different perspective.
What surgery does he do?
So he's a general surgeon, so it's abdominal, it's trauma, unfortunately, and it's crazy, like what you say about the vegan diet and that. I would have thought, I've been quite surprised, because we live now out in Oudtshoorn where there's, it's just abundant with natural resources and the outdoor lifestyle, and it's absolutely amazing, and I've felt enormous shift in me. But do you know the number of complicated cancers? It's insane. It is insane. And it's very, it gets you. It really gets you when you're seeing so many that he's having to break quite devastating news to a lot of people, and not just one or two, like a lot. So it's hard.
So is he also a plant? Is he?
Yes. Together, yes. Yeah. We both turned vegetarian together. And then, and so we were vegetarian 12 years, and then we turned vegan 3 years ago. So we do it together, and very, very staunchly.
Amazing. Oh, that's amazing. So, and does he bring that into his practice and teach people how to turn it around or not?
Not so much. I mean, he's more on the, okay, you've done the damage and now we have to manage the damage. And because the tumor is there or whatever, and he has to now physically go and cut it out. So by that time, it's often too late, and then it's the drastic. So they need you so that they don't have to need him. You know, that's the reality of it, because it's about people taking responsibility for their health. And yes, I know that the burger tastes good, and yes, I know that the processed food and all of that tastes good in the moment, but in the long term, you've got to be responsible for your own health. You've got nobody else to blame if things go down. Like, you can choose. And I know, I mean, we talk from a very privileged point of view. You know, healthy food is not cheap. Healthy food is not cheap, and that's a major problem. Yeah. So sorry, this topic.
I don't know about that. I'm not finding it that expensive. I think unhealthy food. I mean, meat is expensive.
I wouldn't know. I haven't bought in a long time. So I don't know.
So I still have a family who's still eating meat. So it's plant-based at the moment. So I can see both sides. I don't think it's an expensive option. Especially if you grow your own, like you can.
I know, and that's the direction we want to go in, and the videos that I'm starting to record here of our adventures. Eventually, I want that to be turning into a sustainable living lifestyle kind of vlog series of, let's grow all our own things and have solar panels, be completely off the grid, living with, as one with nature. This is the dream. So
I think your husband's practice is changing. I think your husband's practice is going to change quite a bit.
Yeah. Let's hope. Let us hope for his sake and for his patient's sake that there's no need anymore. Let us hope. Okay, so my coffee, I have 2 sips left. I don't know how many you've got. So
I haven't been drinking much.
Okay, it's getting cold. So let's go. We've probably got 2 questions left then. Let us see. Oh, the light. My camera is so not liking this. I can't see it at all. Okay. So let's go there again. Hold on.
What, you didn't like it, right?
I didn't take it out. I didn't take out the previous one. There we go. Confidence. So I meant to hide the option, and I didn't do that. So you got the same question. So confidence up. Let's see. Confidence up. This one. What gives you an instant confidence boost?
Grounding myself.
And what does that look like?
So like before I came on today, I made sure that I was sitting with my feet flat on the floor. I connected to the earth and went like really deep down to the little sort of jewel in the core of the earth. And then I also connected with above, and then I also do these because I watched this video about doing these power moves before.
Amy Cuddy.
So I was just very grounded, connected, and also pumped. That's a confidence boost. Yeah,
I love that. That is so good. That's so good.
But I remember saying all you need to do is you stand up and put your head up and you smile. Like that also works.
Okay, so like just beaming.
Like that's instant as well.
Oh, I love that. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, very intentional. It's a very intentional practice. And how long, for what duration do you do that?
You only need minutes. Like as soon as you've connected, like, rooted and to the heaven, as soon as you've connected above and below, you're there. You're in the zone. Yeah. Okay. So it takes a couple of minutes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That is great. Good handy tip there. Okie dokes. So let's call this the last question then, because I'm also looking at the time.
嗯 哼，
Oh,
我
oh, oh. Ooh, I thought it was going to be content, but it's comparison.
Comparison.
Comparison. So the question is, do you suffer with comparisonitis, and what ointment do you use to stop it spreading?
Generally, I don't, because I studied the law of comparison years ago, where they basically had this thing where you put 3 boxes side by side, all different sizes. And you look at the boxes, and the bigger box is not going to say to the little box, you're small, or the middle box, you're smaller than I am. And the smaller box is not going to say to it makes no sense to compare, because it doesn't matter. A small box is used for the small thing, and the big box is used for the bigger thing, and whatever. So there's no point in comparing yourself. And also when I studied this, I remember whoever it was teaching on it saying that we use the law of comparison against ourselves so often. So we will say things like, we will think about the person who is ahead rather than the person who's behind in whatever it is we're trying to do. And really, it's just a continuum, isn't it? We're all moving somewhere, and we're all on our own journey, and it's got nothing to do with anybody else at all.
Yeah.
So I really... I don't think it's something I suffer from.
Oh, fabulous. My goodness. I think you are probably the first person, because in this this question, or this interview series in its current iteration is the first time I'm doing it this way. But I've been interviewing women for years, either in person or on my blog. And this question comes up a lot. And I think you're probably one of the only people who's ever said that, well, I don't compare myself. I mean, that's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. And like you say, continuum.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything in my life I do, but I don't think I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So the ointment is just don't do it.
Stop.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. Thank you for that. I think that's so inspiring. And maybe that's something as well that somebody watching this right now needed to hear this. Like, just stop doing the comparison. It's not serving you in any way. Damn. Yeah. Okay, dokie. So on that note, Lauren,
Thank you.
What, if anything, is there anything else that you feel called to share to call this chat to a close?
No, we didn't go into passive income, but it doesn't matter. Today wasn't about that.
If it came up,
it wasn't about that. It's fine.
Okay. Well, if somebody does want to know more, where can they go and find out?
Probably. So I've been reworking my LinkedIn page at the moment. That would be the best place to go at the moment. Just go to my LinkedIn profile. I'll pop a link below.
Okay.
And a link in there to a page where you can subscribe to where I've been chatting about that.
Okay. So look for you, Lauren Kinghorn, on LinkedIn, and then you'll find all the content related to passive income. And then when are you going to have your plant-based goodness out there?
I've been planning all week to create a video on that. Looking at the time. Oh, thanks, Kim, for your lovely comments. Maybe after this video, while I'm all pumped still, I will do my first little video.
Yay! Put that grounding to good use and ride the wave.
Otherwise it'll just go on for ages trying to rework and rewrite the thing in my head, the script in my head. I was just like, just get it out there.
Just do it. Already. The world needs you. The world needs you to get it out there. So don't wait for perfect. Just go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren. This has been such a phenomenal chat. My goodness, we went in all directions with this one, and that's what I love about this format, because you just never know where it's going to go.
As women do,
Yeah, absolutely. And what needs to come up comes up. And I hope that anybody watching this has taken from it what they need. Please do go and find Lauren on LinkedIn, where she'll talk about all her passive income work. She's like the guru on this. She is prolific in her experimentations and in her exploration. And I was on your website earlier in the week and going checking out all the things that you're doing. And you are a prolific entrepreneur. You are a serial entrepreneur. So definitely somebody worth following and inspiring. Thank you so much, Lauren, for your time, your attention, and the energy and wisdom that you've shared with us today. It's been so delightful and inspiring.
It was fun. Thank you. And you too, Abigail. It was awesome.
You. Thank you. Have yourself a fabulous Friday and a good weekend, and we will see you again next week's Caffeinated Q&A.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.